Would you like a thriving life? I mean, who wouldn't, right? Well, Psalm 1 gives two basic guidelines for a thriving life. Don't do this is the first. The second is, do this. And today we'll take a closer look and consider the details. Let's start by reading Psalm 1, 1 through 3. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever he does prospers. So life thrives for those who don't listen to evil advice, who don't live like sinners, or join those who have no use for God. Listen, all of humanity has an alienation problem. At the fall, in the garden, our relationship with God was fractured, and we continue to make sinful choices that increase that alienation. If we follow this path, when we follow this path, our lives will not thrive, God says. When we turn our back on God and live by our own desires, it twists and destroys life at every level. And when we give ourselves to unfriends or influencers in our lives who are ungodly, we decay into the same moral state. Also, Psalm 1 says that life thrives for those who love the Lord's teachings. When they think about those teachings day and night, God's Word is like a lamp that guides their steps and a light that shows the path that they should take. Now, Scriptures are more than just literature. They are the words of God to us. As Christians, we love His Word and trust His Word. We're sure to obey it and apply it to our lives. The Scriptures shape how we live our lives and interact with others. And when we give ourselves to God's Word, our lives thrive. There's practical life implications of what that thriving means. Psalm 1 goes on to say that they are like trees growing beside a stream that produce fruit in season and always have leaves. I really like the imagery that brings to mind. In my mind, it evokes thriving, nourishing, fresh, lively images. It's the bursting forth of spring after a hard, cold winter, or a huge shade tree providing shelter from the heat of summer. Plants breathing life into an otherwise dreary room. Hear this from Jeremiah 17, 7 through 8. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. They will be like a tree planted by the water. It does not fear when the heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in the year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. Now, in our state, it is not thriving. In fact, we are in a crisis, and maybe you are too. In our state, more than a quarter of our children are living in poverty. We lead the nation in obesity. We rank 50th in workforce participation, but number 1 in drug overdose deaths per capita. Our state is the 4th most stressed state in the nation and leads in prescriptions of anxiety medication. We remain one of the most poverty-struggling states. Yet, hear this, our key spiritual insight. Our lives and our communities can thrive when we seek God's face and turn from our ungodly ways. In times of drought, in hardships, our lives can remain green, like a tree growing beside a stream, because we put our trust deep into God and into His Word. For you who live on the fringe, who are in poverty, who are unliked, undereducated, made poor life choices, feel alienated and unwanted, I have a word for you. If you struggle in any of these ways, there is always hope. Now, just so there's no misunderstanding, let me clarify something. By thriving, by having this hope, it doesn't mean that you're financially prospering or that you have no more problems. No, thriving means that you have the resource for a settled peace. You have an anchor even during the roughest of storms. There's a confidence of a better life to come. That's what Jesus was getting at in the upper room with His disciples when He said, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. I long for you to be redeemed and then restored. For your personal lives to thrive as you become like Christ. Not perfect, not without challenges, but still thriving amid the heat and the drought. I want you to be fully alive.